The twin suns of Vera 9 had begun to set, painting the jagged mountains in shades of blood and gold. The alien sky was alive with dark, swirling clouds, and the air smelled faintly of ozone and decay. Atop the cliffs of the royal palace, Queen Lairasha stood alone, her long, silver-black hair flowing in the harsh wind. Her crimson eyes scanned the horizon, alert for the slightest movement. Tonight was supposed to be a ceremony of honor, a display of strength for her people. But she felt a deep unease, a warning that danger was close. The vampire city below hummed with life. Towers of black stone and obsidian spiraled toward the sky, lit by bioluminescent veins coursing through the streets. Thousands of her subjects moved in synchronized patterns, all loyal to the traditions of their kind. Yet, somewhere in the shadows, betrayal had taken root. Her most trusted advisor, Criven, had plotted against her for months, spreading rumors of weakness, painting her vision for peace with humans as treachery. Lairasha's instincts had always been sharp, a trait that had allowed her to survive centuries of court intrigue. She had ruled with wisdom and strength, earning respect from her people and fear from her enemies. But tonight, even she could not sense the depth of the danger approaching. "Your Majesty!" a voice called from the balcony behind her. It was Sareth, her captain of guards, a giant of a vampire with golden eyes. "The ceremony is ready. The council awaits." Lairasha turned, her expression unreadable. "I will come, Sareth, but something is wrong. I can feel it in the wind, in the shadows." Sareth frowned, but he did not argue. "As you wish, Queen. I will remain close." Beneath the cliffs, the council gathered in the ceremonial chamber. Criven stood at the center, his dark cloak flowing like liquid night. His eyes, black as the void, were fixed on the throne, calculating, cold. Around him were the elders, all silently agreeing that Lairasha's time as queen was over. The ceremony began with the traditional hunt. Every century, the vampire queen would display her prowess by confronting the strongest predators of Vera 9. This time, Criven had arranged a trap. Lairasha descended the cliff, moving with supernatural grace. Her subjects watched with awe, sensing both her power and elegance. She reached the arena, a rocky plateau illuminated by twin moons. A low growl echoed from the shadows. Suddenly, dozens of vampires emerged, their weapons glinting in the dim light. Lairasha's eyes widened, not in fear but in recognition of the betrayal. "Criven," she said, her voice calm but sharp. "You dare defy me?" Criven smiled, a cruel twist of his lips. "The people are tired of your dreams of peace. Tonight you will fall, and I will rise as the true ruler of our kind." Without another word, the attackers lunged. Lairasha moved like a shadow, striking down the first wave with blinding speed. Her claws raked through armor, her fangs glinting, but they were many, and she could not fight them all at once. High above, hidden among jagged cliffs, a small scouting party watched the battle. They were humans, soldiers from the United Earth Alliance, exploring uncharted systems. Their leader, Captain Elias Kane, narrowed his eyes. He had seen many dangers in his life, but nothing like this. The speed, strength, and precision of the vampire queen was beyond any human standard. And yet, she was clearly outnumbered. "Captain," one of his team whispered, "do we intervene? She's not human." Elias's jaw tightened. "We don't leave anyone to die if we can help it. Get ready. We're going in." The human squad activated their stealth hovercrafts, descending toward the plateau. Lairasha's enemies noticed the strange shapes in the air too late. The humans fired energy nets and stun pulses, scattering the attackers. Lairasha blinked, startled by these strange beings. They did not seem afraid of her, nor did they attack her. Elias landed near her, his armor scorched and scratched from the falling debris. "Queen! Step back! "I'll cover you!" he shouted. Lirasha's crimson eyes narrowed. "You dare interfere?" "I don't know what your politics are," Elias said, his tone firm but respectful. "But I'm not going to watch you die." For a brief moment, time seemed to pause. Lirasha sized him up, a fragile human yet courageous, standing against dozens of vampires. Something in her ancient mind recognized bravery. She had fought wars, faced death countless times, yet here was a creature, weaker than her in every way, challenging fate itself. Criven growled and charged, but Elias intercepted him, throwing a stun grenade. Chaos erupted. Lirasha used the opening to strike down the remaining attackers, moving with fluid, deadly grace. Together, Queen and human fought side by side, an unlikely duo united by instinct and survival. Finally, the battlefield fell silent. The attackers were either incapacitated or fled, howling in fear. Lirasha looked at Elias, her breathing controlled but heavy. "You saved me. Why?" Elias wiped sweat from his brow, his expression resolute. "Because it was the right thing to do. No one should die like that. Not even a vampire queen." Lirasha's eyes softened slightly. She had seen humans as fragile and reckless before, but this one was different. There was honor in his actions, something her kind often lacked, but safety was fleeting. In the distance, a fleet of Craven's ships appeared, descending from the sky like swarms of black hornets. Lirasha's mind raced. "We must escape. Now." Elias nodded. "Follow me. We can get to my ship. It's fast, and it can outrun them, if we're careful." The Queen followed him, moving with a speed that even human eyes could barely track. They ran through jagged rocks and narrow canyons, dodging energy blasts fired by the pursuing vampires. Lirasha's powers allowed her to leap incredible distances, while Elias's tactical mind guided them towards safety. At the edge of a cliff, Elias activated a small transport ship, a sleek craft built for speed and stealth. Lirasha hesitated, unused to traveling in human vehicles. "I am not your prisoner," she said, her voice hissing slightly. "You're not," Elias replied. "You're a guest, for now. But if we don't move, Craven will finish what he started." She studied him for a long moment, her sharp instincts sensing honesty. Finally, she nodded. "Then take me human. But do not think I owe you anything." The ship lifted off, engines roaring as it soared into the dark sky. Below, the vampire city was in chaos. Sparks of energy and fire lit the horizon as Craven's forces realized their queen had escaped. Lirasha pressed herself against the wall of the ship, her thoughts a whirlwind of anger, betrayal, and an unexpected curiosity. Elias piloted the craft skillfully, weaving through asteroid fields and dodging patrol ships. He glanced at Lirasha. "You've been through a lot tonight. I'm Elias Kane, by the way." "Lirasha," she replied curtly. "Queen of the vampire people, remember that." "I'll remember," Elias said with a small smile. "But right now you're just a passenger, and we have to survive the night." For the first time in centuries, Lirasha felt something unfamiliar, a fragile sense of hope. Perhaps this human could help her reclaim her life. Perhaps he could change everything. The stars stretched before them, endless and bright. And for the first time, two worlds collided, one of ancient darkness and one of fragile humanity, together against a galaxy full of danger. And far behind them, Craven swore vengeance, his hatred burning hotter than the twin suns of Vera 9. The hunt was far from over. The transport ship cut through the darkness of space, leaving the chaos of Vera 9 far behind. Lirasha pressed her hands against the cold metallic wall, feeling the vibrations of the engines beneath her fingertips. Her crimson eyes flickered with cautious curiosity as she studied the small human vessel. Unlike the massive ships of her people, this craft was compact and agile, built for speed rather than dominance. Elias Kane sat at the controls, scanning the radar. The stars stretched endlessly around them, but he knew they were not safe. Criven's forces would not give up easily. "We've got some time," he said, breaking the tense silence. "The patrols haven't picked up our signature yet, but they will. We need to find a safe place to land and plan our next move." Lirasha studied him, noting his calm demeanor. "You humans are surprisingly brave. Most of your kind would have fled or surrendered immediately." Elias smiled faintly. "Bravery is part of the job. We protect life when we can. Doesn't matter whose life it is." She tilted her head. The concept was foreign but intriguing. In her world, survival often meant betrayal. Loyalty was rare, and honor even rarer. Here was a human who risked everything for someone he had never met, for someone he could easily see as an enemy. The ship shook suddenly. "Incoming!" Elias shouted, pressing a button on the console. Red alerts flashed across the dashboard. Lirasha's instincts took over. She leaped into action, knocking a stun drone out of the air with a sweep of her arm. "They are fast," she muttered, "but they are not strong enough to stop us completely." Elias maneuvered the ship through an asteroid belt, weaving between massive rocks and debris. The pursuing ships fired energy blasts, some narrowly missing the transport. "Hold on!" he shouted as the ship tilted sharply, throwing them both against the walls. "Human, your skills are impressive," Lirasha admitted, her hair whipping around her face. She darted to the navigation panel, instinctively analyzing the trajectory. "There is a pattern to their pursuit. You can use the larger asteroids as cover, then make a sudden jump. It may shake them off." Elias blinked, impressed. "You've got a tactical mind. I didn't expect that from a vampire." "Do not underestimate my people, or me," she replied coolly. "I am a queen, and I have survived betrayals that would have destroyed most of your kind." They worked in tandem, human and alien, maneuvering the ship with incredible precision. For the first time, Elias felt that they could actually escape Criven's fleet. Hours later, the asteroid belt ended, revealing a small, uncharted planet. Elias adjusted the ship's course. "We'll land here. It's remote, no life signs detected. We can regroup, plan, and figure out what to do next." Lirasha studied the planet. Its surface was rocky with scattered forests of blue-leafed trees. Strange, low-hanging clouds glowed faintly in the light of a distant sun. "It is suitable," she said. "I can rest, regain strength, and recover. But I will not be your prisoner, human. Understand this clearly." Elias nodded. "I understand. You're not my prisoner. You're my ally. For now." The ship descended slowly, landing in a small clearing. The forest seemed quiet, but Lirasha's senses detected subtle movements. The wind shifted unnaturally, and the distant rustle of creatures hidden from view. She crouched instinctively, scanning for danger. "Relax," Elias said, setting the engines to silent mode. "For the first time in hours, we're safe, at least for now." But Lirasha did not relax. Her entire life had been a series of battles and betrayals. She could not afford to trust easily, even in this strange human. Hours passed. Elias set up a small camp, creating a perimeter with energy sensors and shields. Lirasha observed quietly, her eyes scanning the forest. "Tell me about your kind," she said finally. "Humans. I have heard little, and what I have heard is biased." Elias leaned back, staring at the alien canopy above. "We are complicated. We fight each other sometimes, but we also fight to protect life. We explore, learn, and survive. We are fragile compared to your kind, but we adapt. That's how we've lasted this long." Lyrasha tilted her head, considering his words. Fragile, yet brave enough to save me. Elias shrugged. Sometimes the right thing is more important than the odds. I could have walked away, but I didn't. Silence followed, broken only by the gentle rustle of alien leaves. For the first time, Lyrasha felt a strange respect for this human. Not admiration exactly, but a recognition that courage could exist in any form, even in a creature so small and weak compared to her own people. Suddenly, the forest trembled. Lyrasha's eyes narrowed. "They are here," she hissed. "Criven's scouts. They are fast. We must move." Elias grabbed his pulse rifle. "How many?" "More than you can count." "They hide in the shadows. Strike without warning," Lyrasha replied. Her fangs glinted in the dim light. "But I will fight." Elias nodded. "Then we fight together. Cover each other, follow my lead." The first wave of attackers emerged, vampires cloaked in black, moving faster than human eyes could follow. They struck without mercy. Lyrasha's claws flashed, tearing through armor and flesh. Elias fired his rifle, stunning several attackers at once. Together they formed an unorthodox but deadly team. Lyrasha moved like a shadow, her attacks precise and lethal. Elias covered her flanks using strategy and ingenuity to anticipate the vampires' movements. They fought as if they had trained together for years, though they had only known each other for hours. Finally, the forest fell silent. The attackers had either fled or been incapacitated. Both were breathing heavily, sweat and blood mingling in the alien soil. Lyrasha wiped her claws, studying Elias. "You fight well for a human. And you," he said, "fight like a queen should." For a moment, the tension between them softened. Lyrasha realized that this human was not just strong in body, but in mind. He could strategize, adapt, and make decisions under pressure, skills that could change the course of wars. Elias glanced at the horizon, wary. "We can't stay here long. They will regroup, and Criven will send more. We need a plan, and we need allies." "Allies," Lyrasha echoed, considering the word. Her people were fractured, her council betrayed her, and humans were unpredictable. Could she trust this human to help her reclaim her throne? Could she even trust herself? "We'll figure it out," Elias said, reading her thoughts. "First we survive, then we fight back." Lyrasha nodded slowly. "Very well, human. For now, we are allies." The sky darkened further as the twin moons rose above the horizon. The forest seemed to watch silently, holding its breath. In the distance, the faint hum of Criven's ships could be heard, a reminder that danger was never far. As night fell, Lyrasha finally allowed herself to rest. She sat beside the small fire Elias had made, her sharp senses still alert, but her mind racing with thoughts of strategy, revenge, and an unexpected curiosity. This human had changed everything, and for the first time in centuries, she felt a flicker of hope. Elias watched her quietly. He didn't fully understand the complexities of her kind, but he understood enough. She was not just a queen. She was a being of incredible power, intelligence, and potential. And if he could help her survive, if he could help her reclaim her people from the darkness within, perhaps he could prove that even a single human could change the course of an entire alien civilization. Suddenly, a rustling sound from the forest snapped them both to attention. Lyrasha's eyes glowed red as she rose, claws extended. Elias raised his rifle, scanning the shadows. A single figure emerged, moving cautiously toward them. Lyrasha tensed, ready to strike. Elias gripped the rifle tighter. The figure stopped at the edge of the clearing and bowed slightly. "Queen Lyrasha." "I am Thalen," the voice said, calm but respectful. "I am a follower loyal to you. I have evaded Criven's purge and seek your command." Lyrasha's eyes softened slightly, recognizing loyalty when she saw it. Elias exhaled in relief, knowing they had found their first ally among her people. "Then you are welcome," Lyrasha said. "But you must understand. The human who saved me, he is our ally as well." Thalen's gaze shifted to Elias, cautious but respectful. "I see. He is brave, and brave is honored among warriors. Then he shall fight with us." For the first time, the balance of power shifted slightly. The human and the vampire queen had formed a small but formidable alliance. The next step would be dangerous. The path to reclaiming her throne treacherous, but for now, they had survived the night. And in the darkness of the alien forest, a flicker of hope began to burn.